Let me know.
All right, we ready.
Welcome once again to the uncensored Philadelphia Sports Podcast. Let me get my stuff correct now.
I know, right?
Sixes with another one, and another one,
And another one.
and another one. You know what I'm saying? We caught Chicago on the road, or Chicago was on the road. They came, they visited Sixers. Sixers gave them a little bit of work. We won. But since then, we played Detroit. Chicago's been off, resting.
Yep.
And we came back tonight. No Tobias Harris, no Matisse Thybulle, no Danny Green.
What you gonna do? What are you
And
saying?
we really handled them. Other than when the refs tried to give them, I'm not one of them
The
people. You know me.
refs was giving them all the home cooking they wanted. They got.
Yep.
It was a buffet for them.
And you know me, I'm usually I'm one of the last people to sit there and say stuff like the refs. Because I believe that you played through that. But the refs were, and the funny part is I was listening to the Chicago broadcast, and they was like they was talking. They were like, "Oh, they're calling these ticky tack fouls for Embiid." Like what? Like what is you looking at?
Oh
The
my
boy
God.
the joint they called on Paul Reed was not a foul.
The 4-point play.
The 4-point play was not a foul.
God.
And shout out to Paul Reed. Got a Paul Reed sighting, baby. That's my young boy showed up tonight.
He got his first start. Congratulations, Paul Reed. I don't know if his first start a legit game. I should say that much, because I think one time they did. He started, but we just threw all the reserves in there. But congratulations to the Sixers. We are 8-2. We said we wouldn't know what this team would be like after 10 games. What are you saying? What are you thinking? Because right now, to be honest with you, I like this team. What are you trading to get better for? I like this team the way it's constructed as is. I do. I'm sorry. I know I'm hype. I know it's after the game, but I'm a hype. This was
Listen. The funny part is, bro, I can't disagree with you. I like honestly, I'm looking at it like we talked about what we need on this team, and we still got like it's still early in the season, but for real, from what the Sixers have shown, they've shown to be a deep team. They've gone through. We've had the protocol and injuries and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
We've been shorthanded and still handling business.
We only played 8 people today. And here's the thing: it's not we have everybody stepping up, because remember, Seth been hot for us the first 6-7 games. He wasn't hot today. He was just okay. I mean, he had some bastards, but he was just okay. But we didn't need him. Korkmaz, he just decided to black out.
Hey, tell me, they going at you tonight.
I know they talking
like you done rip Cork. Now they coming at both B and Cork ball tonight.
I know. I have nothing to say. The young Turk is here. He balled out. I can't hate on Embiid, except for the 6 turnovers. But besides that, because he got to get them. That turnover late in the game could have been costly. But but it's like 6 turnovers is a lot. But he was struggling early on. But that second quarter, that was vintage Embiid. That's what I remember him like knocking down them shots. His stroke was back. He was hitting. Once he made them give him a new ball, he was good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and it's funny because remember we was talking like, Seth is the closer. Yeah, well, it wasn't Seth tonight. We had this team. This is a real team. So if we're talking about like, even if I'm not going to say I wouldn't trade for Dame still. That being said, with the way Dame is playing and the way that some of these young ones is playing, like, I'm not giving you the help. I'm not giving you the farm to bring them in. I'm not giving anybody the farm. And I think this is what Morey and them was. I think, and this was what I thought the Sixers was trying to do coming in. They wanted to see how everything would go with the team as is, without people that said they didn't want to play, not playing. And I've always said, if they ball without the other all-star playing on this team, that puts the Sixers in an outstanding position, because now it's like we don't have to trade anybody for nothing.
Yeah,
you got to knock our socks off in the trade. We got to come up in the trade, and I think they're putting themselves in that position with the way that they're playing as a team.
Yeah, we were struggling. The first thing you're trying to do is we need to get an asset in here, but we have the best record in the NBA right now, obviously in the Eastern Conference. But Korkmaz, I gotta get a man some props. The boy was hot. I mean, he was hot all game long. Because remember, I thought he was gonna get the start, but they started Paul Reed, and I guess that was a good call. But with starting him, the offense struggled a lot early on because we didn't have anybody really to go to. Korkmaz came in the game, and it just like took the lid off of everything. They just started hitting everything. He was hitting shots, like quick shots, what we needed from him. I gotta give the young boy his props, and I gotta remember.
Why Ephraim in the comments now? Why Ephraim coming at you in the comments? Ephraim, you're not allowed to comment. You're not on here. Don't comment. You can watch the replay. No, but honestly though,
so they say I'm capable. I didn't say nothing about Ben tonight. It's not about Ben. It's about the players that was there. The eight boys that ball. You gotta give them their props, and I will.
You know what's funny is like even what's his name? Niang didn't have a great shooting night tonight.
No, but he struggled big time.
But he hit a big one late on. We actually have guys that have timely shooting on this team. As the season's going on, more guys are stepping up with timely shooting.
Yep.
I even like Shake was even like our guards have been Shake. It was the one play. I think Chicago came down and it was like the ball was like loose and Shake out hustled everybody and got the rock and everything like it. Like the Sixers really playing like a team of a well coached machine. And this is the way that they're playing right now. And I got to give Doc props because I think it does lend. Again, I think it has to do with the fact that this team had a full off season with Doc as the coach and able to work with these younger guys and help develop them.
Yep. Because a couple boys in here was hating on Doc, and I was a little bit, but they was really hating on Doc as far as him being the coach. He just got his 1,000th win tonight, so congratulations to him. I mean, that says a lot. If you got 1,000 wins as a head coach in the NBA, that says a whole lot.
Embiid almost got a knockout tonight.
Oh my God, that was vicious.
I'm so glad it didn't connect.
So
glad it didn't connect.
Yo, that would have been, and it really wasn't a flagrant foul. And I'm glad it didn't call a flagrant foul, but he almost died. He almost died on the court. But another thing, Embiid had like an up and down game because he got really hot in that second quarter, but he's still missing too many free throws in the game. And this is not like him. We're not used to seeing him miss a lot of free throws. So again, maybe still him get used to that Wilson ball. But and just hit the turnovers and the free throws are something that he's still is going to work in progress. But the difference is, even though he's making those mistakes, the team is still winning because we got people stepping up. So it's not glaring right now. But I do want to see him get better with it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and for if you look around the whole NBA, if you look at around the NBA as a whole, shooting is down. Even Steph Curry, as much as we talk, we know that's Ephraim's man and everything, and Steph Curry is shooting under 40% from 3 points this year, as well as he's balling. And I think he's shooting like 41%. His shooting percentages are down. The greatest shooter in NBA history, by my opinion, and countless other people, his shooting percentages are down this year. So I do think that it is something to the basketball, but I do, however, think that the players are going to adjust to it. Now, I am worried about Embiid a little bit with that because we know that Embiid didn't start playing basketball till like later in his life.
Yeah.
So Embiid, like with the foundational players that been in America, they didn't play with all type of rocks. Like you go to the court out there, you know what I'm saying? You
got a bubble in that joint.
Right. You didn't play with a couple rubber basketballs, everything. You didn't ran with all kind of rocks in your life. But Embiid started playing later in life, so I don't know how many, like, not
if
perfect.
He played in Africa, he might have played with.
But he wasn't really playing like that over in Africa. And he wasn't shooting like that. They just was That's like, true. Here, jump up, block the ball.
That's true.
Pick it up, put it down.
But I see the people in the comments. I see what they said in the comments. Somebody, I mean, I agree with they said they wouldn't break up the squad for Dame.
At this point, I wouldn't either. Hey, listen, that Negro. I'm not making excuses for it. Everybody is struggling with it. All I'm saying is about Embiid. Like, has he even ran with a different type of basketball? I know, look, me and Tim know when we run ball down at the gym, the first thing you do, you try to find the best ball to run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sometimes if you don't got that many choices at the gym or on the street, you pick the best rock. It ain't always ideal. That joint might be a finger jammer. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little bit slippery, everything else. So some of them a little harder, some of them a little softer. But if all of you've been playing is like organized basketball as you've been playing basketball, and you've only played with a certain type of ball, I think most of the NBA other guys have played with all different type of basketballs. I'm not sure how many different types we played with. So that being said, if he hasn't, he better learn to do it now because it's here to stay.
And Ms. I agree with you. Niang is mentally tough. These are the type of basketball players that you need, especially in the playoffs. Because he was off today, but it didn't stop him from hitting that, taking that big 3-point shot and making it. And that's what you need in playoff basketball. Like even with Ben, sometimes and Tobias a lot. Once they start missing, they get tight, and you gotta that last shot gotta be a distant memory. You just gotta keep shooting. And what I'm noticing from Niang is Niang didn't care that he missed a lot of shots. I think he at one point was 2 for 9. That ain't stopping that big shot that we needed down the stretch. He made it. So I agree. You got to be mentally tight to play the game. He may be one of our closers down the stretch.
Hey, come on, man! I don't do the Tobias hate stuff. Like, see, that's the part that get. Why do we have to hate on somebody on our team? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't think that Tobias so you telling me if we played tonight and had Tobias in there instead of Paul Reed, it wouldn't have been better for the Sixers? And I like Paul Reed. I caped for Paul Reed all last season. I like Paul Reed as a young talent. But you telling me that we would have been better off with Tobias playing tonight over Paul Reed? Why we got to trade? Why do we need to trade Tobias? Why do we need to trade anybody that's playing on the court right now for this 8-2 team that's holding their own? Like remember last year when we was playing and we was like in the top of the division and everybody was like, oh, the Sixers ain't really played nobody. It's always an excuse when the Sixers been playing shorthanded this year. The 2 games they lost was the one against the Nets that they should have won, but they didn't have anybody that was closing it out, and it was early. And now since then, we've seen guys step up in that role in various games. And the other game that we lost was the Knicks, and the Knicks came out and just manhandled us, and we was making a run to get back in it and just couldn't do it. So I haven't seen. And then we played Atlanta. That was supposed to be a playoff contender, up and coming team.
Tobias he does well those first 3 quarters, but fourth quarter, that's not the guy that's going to be hitting that big shot. We've seen that so far, and he hasn't done that. He hasn't. As many big leads that we lost last year, he was on the court. Tobias was on the court.
You can say all you want about Tobias not being aggressive on the rebounds, but he averaged 9 rebounds a game.
What I'm saying is clutch time in the fourth quarter. Tobias hasn't shown me over the years. Where's the big shot that Tobias made in the fourth quarter over the last 2 years?
Oh, stop. See, this is what you're not going to do because what? No, because
answer the question.
Wait, and I'm about to answer your question. Because last season
playoffs.
Don't. Now you want to put playoffs, but last season when we was in the early part of Tobias the closer, you said it out your mouth. Y'all was in the Tobias the closer. Tobias was the closer. I'm sure you don't. And don't make me. I will go back and find which one we were on when we was talking about that because I don't forget those things.
Even if we said it early on, we realized that he's not the closer, and he doesn't make big clutch shots at the end of the games.
So has Paul Reed shown to make clutch shots at the end of the game?
No, but you know who has? The boy Niang, the boy Seth.
Okay.
Those are 2 people, and then Korkmaz
in the playoffs. Yep, they have, and guess what? And I'm fine with them getting playing time, but don't talk to me like Tobias is no talent at all. Like, come on,
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not.
But I'm talking about Bulls in here talking about some trade Tobias. Trade why? Tobias is averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds or something like that this season.
Wait, Ruth, stop. He said Toby won us a bunch of games in the 4th last December.
No, he did. Toby did. Toby was killing. That's what I'm saying. We was hitting here having a whole argument about who the closer. Toby, the number 2 player in the team. Not Toby the closer. This what I'm saying about Sixers fans. This what I'm saying about Sixers
Toby's
fans.
not a closer.
And it's not just Sixers fans. It's everybody when they about your home team. Like just be everybody's like y'all told me, everybody's not going to ball out every game. So
I
now,
agree.
remember, we talked about how Seth was supposed to be the closer last game. What did Seth do at the closing of this game?
We
He
didn't need
passed
him.
up on But
But
my
you're
point
not
is,
gonna be perfect though. You know that you're not
but
gonna be
wait, you
perfect
couldn't have
every
used
game.
Seth when Chicago came back. So our closer couldn't step in and shut the door down on that.
When we started the podcast, what we say, the refs was giving them all the home cooking in the world for
Okay,
them to come
but
back.
on offense, who was shutting it down? Nobody. And that's all I'm just saying this to say we have a good team. We don't necessarily have somebody that's going to be our closer every night, but we do have ballers. Like Cork has shown himself to hit big shots. Niang shown himself to hit big
Yep.
shots even on a bad night.
And
Seth Bede has hit big shots. Like,
in
come
quarters
on.
1 through 3, Tobias has shown that he can hit big shots. I totally agree.
And Tobias has hit big shots in the fourth. Maybe not in the playoffs, but he's hit big shots in the fourth.
Nah.
See that? See,
All right. Let me get you know what else I gotta get proud to? You gotta get proud to the young boy Maxey. Maxey hit a big shot down the stretch, and he played well. He did his job today.
This team just looks well. Honestly, the way that they're playing, they look very well coached. And anybody that just wants to dismiss the Sixers at this 8-2 record right now, let's keep it a bean. Before this week, people with Chicago and Miami. Oh,
That's all they was
Chicago and Miami, Chicago. Now the Sixers had Chicago 2 losses, one at home and one on the road.
Mr. Wings and Tobias has hit big shots in the preseason style.
I'm not saying Tobias isn't no clutch player. All I'm saying is
not. You just want to argue that point, but you know
no, I'm not. But I'm arguing a point of don't just the same way other people wasn't clutch players, but I'm still not going to dismiss what they bring to the team. You're not telling me that the Sixers are better off with Paul Reed starting than they are with Tobias Harris starting.
I won't say that. I agree with you. And SGT Bass, we should be 9-1. We really should be 9-1. The only legit loss to me was that New York loss. We definitely should have beat Brooklyn. But we just learning how to play.
Stop. So we did have Paul Reed on the roster last playoffs. He just wasn't getting on the floor. So you telling me Paul Reed and Niang would have been better than Tobias Harris? What do you even know what Niang's numbers are this year? Niang was shooting 1 for 7 and I like him, and he knocked down a nice clutch shot. But let's stop over exaggerating stuff that we see, and let's stop hating just because it might be a player we wasn't feeling from the beginning. Like I give Tim props. Tim wasn't big on Tim hate on Bede, and Tim was never a Kork fan and always ripped Kork. But he come on and give the man the props when the man ball. Like come on, bro. If somebody ball, give them their props.
You know who was getting the best? You know who was giving it to Maxey a little bit the other day? Lonzo Ball was giving it to Maxey. Maxey was on his toes, like backing up the whole time. He was hitting clutch shots. Because remember that game on Wednesday, Lonzo was all big time, but I got to give Lonzo. He played a good game, and then he paced the team. Because DeRozan is nice, man.
His mid-range game is outrageous.
Because even there was one play where B-Ball Paul actually blocked a shot and he got the rebound back. I'm still going at you. He kept going at him. He young boy, get up, get your weight up. And you saw even down the stretch, he was hitting big shots.
Even when you look at the stat sheet, bro, like, all right, Embiid had 3 assists. Curry only had 1. Milton had 6 assists. Maxey had 8 assists. Like this team played. It's so fun to watch a team. This kind of actually reminds me of how the Spurs play on offense. Like remember the Spurs where their offense, it would be like even though you knew Tim Duncan was the dude, but they worked the ball around and you would have guys like when what's his name? Kawhi was a young bull, like he would hit clutch shots or something like that, or Danny Green, like you had different dudes step up, Patty Mills, like these dudes wasn't stars, but they stepped up and hit shots at different points. This team reminds me more of a pop type team than any team that Brett Brown ever brought to the Sixers.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And the boy Shake played well too. Gotta get the boy Shake his props.
Yeah, no, Shake did step up. And And we did this without Maxey, without Tobias, without Danny
Thibault.
Green. Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to say Thibault. I always get Maxey and Thibault names mixed up for
I
some
know
reason.
we had think about it. Thibault didn't play. Tobias didn't play. Isaiah Joe didn't play.
Danny Green.
Danny Green. I don't see a spot for Danny Green on this team no more, yo. I don't see a spot for Danny Green. I
It's
wish we
starting to
could
look
do a
like it.
poll right now, because if anybody can tell me, do we need Danny Green back on his team? Because I don't see a reason for bringing him back.
I think the biggest need for Danny last year was a veteran leadership because
Yeah, we don't need him.
he'd been to various finals. But that being said, I think this team has guys that's ready to make that step to
Yep.
be, big time. Yang and Seth have taken advantage of their opportunity when they came. This is what you know how sometimes the boys just get to play and other people shout. Yang was over there playing behind Bogdanovic and them over there in Utah. He was coming off the bench. And it's like now he's getting his turn to shine and he's taking advantage
You
of it.
see it. He's part of the
Yep.
rotation. He was 6 or 7 coming off the 6-7 player coming off the bench.
Yep.
So
And he was buried on that bench because they had like Clarkson and them off the bench, and what's the other guy? And I like him. They had other players coming off of the bench. So, but the Sixers, even on defense, this Sixers defense, they fly to the ball. They bring energy, and I think that's one of the things that you can do when you have a deep team. When you have that depth, you can come in there and it's like, okay, leave it all on the court. When you're tired, we're gonna put somebody in for you. All right, the Jonas. Yeah, Royce O'Neal. Yeah, they had Royce O'Neal. What was it? The white guy name? Why am I forgetting? Ingles. I like Ingles. Utah.
Eagles actually tough.
That's what I'm saying. Utah. Niang was buried behind all these dudes on Utah bench. So I mean, the six.
What do we need to improve in then? So we, based off of the first 10 games, because we said we could evaluate this team at the 10 games. Are we legitimately the best team in the East in your eyes?
I can't put them over Miami right now because Miami's looking good. Because Miami also has a deep squad, and Miami also has like championship caliber type play. Like Jimmy didn't win a chip, but Jimmy played in the chip. They got Lowry over there. You know what I'm saying? Like they have that coach, Spoelstra. So as of right now, I would have to put Miami over the Sixers.
I don't know. I think the Sixers.
It'll be interesting when we play them. It'll be interesting when we play them. But as of right, Miami is balling. I can't. Tyler Hero is ball. He averaging like 20 points a game now.
Yes.
He's back to what he was doing the first year. He regained sanity. But I mean, Miami is a tough squad. So I just would give them the slight edge over the Sixers as of right now.
What about the Bucks? Because the Bucks, I think they only got 5 wins. I think they 4-4.
Yeah, they might be on the hangover, the championship hangover thing, and the Nets. Remember, I mean, the Nets, they still got issues going on over there, but that's what I'm saying. I just think as of right now, the Sixers look like the team, and it's funny because everybody talked about the Sixers like, oh, they got too many distractions going on.
Oh yeah, that was the whole message.
They're missing the all-star guard, and they got so many distractions. They need to just get rid of them and trade them for anything just to get them off the team because he's going to distract the team. The team is 8-2. And like I said, I think that motivates them. I actually think the guys that are there is like, oh, we gonna show y'all.
Yeah, that might have brought the team together. Ben inadvertently brought the entire team together.
Yeah, right. I can see that.
Now, Pascal Siakam hasn't played at all for. He's been injured. I think he had a groin injury. We've been concentrating on point guard and shooting guard, but would you trade Ben for a small forward? Because I think that's the only upgrade that I would want to do right now. Would you trade?
Yeah. Before I was saying I would need to get a point guard back, but the way that I see Korkmaz is handling the rock, you got Shake does an adequate enough job. Maxey is holding it down.
Yeah,
we actually have good guard play. we have good guard. Even the Yang can come down and control the offense with the rock. Like we have good guard play and offensive ball handling. I do agree with you. I think that excuse me, that small forward position could be improved.
So that's my angle. If we can get Siakam out of Toronto, because Toronto is hot right now. I think they won about 5 games in a row. They
Listen, if we could pull Siakam can shoot some. You know, that's Embiid, homie. Ain't they from the same country or whatever? You know, Siakam play defense. He can shoot. Man, if they was willing to give us Siakam for our player that doesn't want to play with us, I'd take it at a heartbeat right now.
I would. That'd be nice if we can get him.
That's a pretty big front court too. If you're talking about Siakam, Tobias, B, and then you come with Maxey, and you got Maxey and Seth at the guard play, but that defense that you got with Siakam and B back there, and Maxey flying around the rock, like I'm good with that starting lineup. But then the bench that we got now, let me temper myself because it is still early in the season. However, the Sixers look outstanding as a team so far this season.
They play well, and it's crazy because Tyrese Maxey did an interview earlier this week, and he said he's crediting his success and how he's progressing to Sam Cassell. So remember how Sam Cassell took Ben under his wing last year. Now he's taking Tyrese Maxey under his wing this year.
Ben didn't want to be under his wing. Let's stop. Don't do that. But Maxey is actually
Ben did get better in some areas. He just folded at the end. Ben had a very good regular season. That's what I want to talk about, Ben. I don't really want to talk about Ben, but Ben had a really good regular season. But as far as Tyrese Maxey, he's learning the same thing, taking them jewels from the ball, and you see him as a progressive point guard. He's doing his thing. He had clutch shots at the end of the game, made the best pass. So
I do think Maxey is starting to feel his stride, and he's getting comfortable. I honestly, when I'm looking at it, like I'm looking at Korkmaz. Korkmaz is like he's gradually got better the last couple of years. Like last year, I remember I was catching slack when I was talking about how because Korkmaz was shooting like 40% from 3, but you just really couldn't tell it because it's like he would be hot and cold at times, and it was like he didn't have a ball handling skills and like playmaking skills. Like it was just he catch and shoot. You really can see where Doc and like you said, Doc and Cassell working with these guards and working with these guys to handle the ball and stuff like that. Like I do see a drastic improvement. Korkmaz actually looks like he looks like how whenever it seemed like we would always get the ball like Sarge. What's his name? Sarge. We would get guys like that. It's like I mean he's an okay player, this, that, and the other, but it was like he didn't never get better or anything else. Like Korkmaz is only 25.
Yeah, he's still young. SGT Bass, I wouldn't mind starting Thibault at the 3. It's just that offensively, he's just not there as far as developing. He's still the same player when we drafted him 2 years ago. So when we get into the playoffs, what is he going to do? He's going to give you about 3 to 5 points a game tops. So if we're going to upgrade that, if any position to upgrade, to me, the small forward position is where I would go. Especially if Ben is not happy, wants to leave, trade him, and we can get somebody that can give us at least 10, 15 points a game. That'd be perfect.
Man, I wish the Pelicans would give us Ben Simmons for some give us Zion for some Ben Simmons. I'll take Zion, put him at the power forward, slide Toby right over the small forward in a heartbeat. But see, this is the part, and email, I agree with you. I do think
they ain't gonna do that trade.
I agree with you that this team is so deep. Excuse me. I like the depth on this team because you can't really focus in on. I mean, of course, they focus on Embiid because Embiid is your superstar. Embiid is your MVP caliber type player, so he does get that attention. But you can't do like in past years where, like, when we used to play against Boston in the Brett Brown years, they would double and triple team Embiid. And like come off of like 2 or 3 other guys because nobody else was going to do, Jason Richardson wasn't hitting shots, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But now you actually have guys and they're not afraid to hit, like the confidence that they're playing. Niang will squeeze in a heartbeat.
The moment is not big for him.
Kork will squeeze from anywhere.
Yep.
And then not even just shoot, the way he drops to the basket and you forget that Korkmaz is 6'7". So when he had like Lonzo Ball on him and he's driving and he's using his length and reaching and making that separation, This team has a lot of talent on it, in my opinion.
And let me give B a little bit more props because the first quarter he was struggling offensively, but defensively he was anchoring. He was anchoring that team, that defense. He was all over the place. He was blocking shots. Nobody was getting easy layups at all because he was struggling early to the second quarter when he took off. But defensively, Beat is on his game right now. He's on his game. He locked in right now. So I gotta get the boys props. I'm known as a Beat hater. But today, I was pretty much satisfied with what I saw on the court.
I can't wait till Monday. I can't wait to this Knicks rematch at Philly.
Yeah, that's gonna be key.
I might need to go to see.
I think we're gonna get that game. That's the game we're gonna get because they kind of bully. They play bully ball on us. They treat us like young bulls. They treated like it was really the Sixers versus Philly.
They did. I think the Sixers wasn't expecting to get punched in the mouth like that. And New York came out and they did that. But as the game went on, and as New York has done all season, they've kind of faded out toward the second half. And I think that the Sixers were on their way to come back. It was like a little too late for that to happen.
Yeah, that's all it was. But so all these Doc haters, we had a lot of Doc haters like Ethan and E from the Doc. They in the room, they was hating on Doc. They were saying who they wanted somebody else. And the boy Doc proved that he's a really good coach if you want to be coached. If you want to be coached,
wasn't you hating on Doc?
Yeah, I was, but
I'm about to say, hold on, man. I
wanted Doc, but I wanted Tyronn Lue first. But then when they didn't get him, I was happy with the Doc. What I didn't want was D'Antoni. Everybody was talking about we was gonna get D'Antoni.
No, I want no.
And I was like, no.
Even though D'Antoni looked like maybe he was the difference in New Jersey. I mean, in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Now you got Nash without D'Antoni. All of a sudden, D'Antoni seen that ship coming. He was like, this thing about to get ugly. I'm out.
And we smoke. I hope we do smoke the Knicks. All right, so this was fun. So. This was a good game. I'm sad. I'm completely 100% satisfied with the win. This was a road win where we only had 8 players. That's all we had. Hey, y'all, don't forget, hit that like button too. We got like 90 people watching, so can we get some love? Let's get us half. We need.
I want to know who unsubscribed from. We had 850 subscribers. How we down to 849? Who got mad at us?
Somebody got mad at Ethan.
It must be whoever be putting. You know how every once in a while you see a thumbs down.
Did want to keep.
It's probably one of them boys from last year. One of them Ben Simmons lovers that was always supporting, that was mad whenever we ripped Ben last year. I think they come on now and throw thumbs down.
That's what they come in to hate. But no, another thing that we did, we used to we weren't as good on the road, but we was always good at home. Well, one thing about Brett Brand, I give him his props. We always won at home. We always been a great.
They ain't had nothing to do with Brett. That has to do with the Philadelphia 76ers fans. Everybody sit there and say what they want, that they want to rip the Sixers fans and everything else. And the players even tell you that. First of all, any player that can play in front of the Sixers fans that and they got respect for the fans. They might be mad. It's like family. You know what I'm saying? You know how it's like if they're your family, like you get mad, you might argue with each other, but no matter what that's why AI is loved here. Yeah. AI used to get criticism here. Used to have some AI here and people who's talking about his personal life and everything else. But when it came down to it, AI knew when he stepped on that court, for the most part, the Sixers fans wanted to win, and they gonna let you hear that and let you hear it when you ain't performing.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. Thanks again for joining us. Let me see anybody else that they saying that they just talking nonsense in the chat. They ain't really saying I keep me getting a lot of Tim Simmons little hate. It's all right.
At least you owned up to it tonight. But you'll be back here hating tomorrow if Embiid struggle or Korkmaz. You be like, see, I told you I never trusted them.
That's true. No, but the Bulls do got a nice team. They may actually needs to be coached up a little bit better, but they do have a really good team. I think DeRozan and LaVine and all the pickups they had, even the what's the boy Caruso? I think he's a good player too, like a scrappy player.
The Bulls don't seem like they shoot that great though. I'm sitting here looking not saying shooting a shot, but like threes. Like I do like the Bull Jr. What's his name? Derrick Jones Jr. Is that his name?
Derrick Jones Jr. Yeah.
That boy athletic in the mug. He be coming out of nowhere catching them putbacks. But the Bulls shooting to me is I'm not highly impressed with the two games that we played them anyway. I mean, maybe it was just a Sixers defense, but now mid range they assassins. But the 3-point game wasn't all that impressive to me.
Zach LaVine started hitting them some nice shots at the end.
Well, yeah, Zach, but I mean, as a team, as a whole,
yeah. But we play well. We got a nice defensive squad though. We got the boy. Remember, we got the defensive guru from Indiana, the Pacers. He runs our defense. Then we got the old coach from Sacramento who he got good plays. He run good plays. There's Sam Cassell. So we got a good coaching staff. Plus Doc.
I agree.
So we good. But anyway, we gonna get out of here. Again, the Sixers beat the Bulls 114-105 on a roll. We looking good. We'll be back be back tomorrow after the Eagles win against the Chargers. And then after that,
I might take a day off. I might take a day off tomorrow.
No, we got to keep going. And then Monday, we back here Monday against Brooklyn. That should be fun. Is it Brooklyn or who we play Monday?
Knicks Monday.
Oh, we play Knicks. All right. So we out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that notification button so you know when we go live. We out. See y'all later.
Peace.